Elon Musk, the first trillionaire. In June 2026, one man crossed a line no human being had ever crossed before. His net worth passed $1 trillion. Not a billion, a trillion. 1,000 billion. To put that in perspective, if you had spent $1 million every single day since the pyramids were built, you still wouldn't have $1 trillion. That man is Elon Musk. And whether you love him or can't stand him, his story is one of the wildest rises in modern history. This is how he did it. Our story starts in Pretoria, South Africa, where Elon Musk was born on June 28, 1971. He grew up in a wealthy family under apartheid, the country's brutal system of racial segregation. His mother, May, was a Canadian model and dietitian. His father, Errol, was an engineer, and by Elon's own telling, a difficult man he's spoken about with a lot of bitterness over the years. Young Elon was a bookish, obsessive kid. He'd disappear into science fiction novels and read encyclopedias for fun. And crucially, he fell in love with computers early. He taught himself to code, and at age 12, he built a video game called Blaftar and sold it to a computer magazine. 12 years old, already turning code into cash. He also had a rough time socially. He was bullied badly, once so severely that he was hospitalized. That outsider, I'll show them energy stuck with him for life. At 17, Musk made a big move. Not wanting to serve in the apartheid-era South African military and seeing more opportunity abroad, he left for Canada, using citizenship he could claim through his Canadian mother. He studied there briefly, then transferred to the University of Pennsylvania in the United States, where he earned degrees in physics and economics. Then came a decision that tells you everything about him. He got into a PhD program at Stanford to study energy physics. He lasted 2 days. 2 days. He dropped out because he was convinced the internet was about to change the world, and he wanted to build, not study. This was the mid-90s, the very beginning of the internet boom. In 1995, along with his brother Kimball, he founded his first company, Zip2. It was basically an online map and business directory for newspapers, an early version of the stuff we take for granted today. They were broke and grinding. Elon has said he slept in the office and showered at the YMCA, coding all night, every night. It worked. In 1999, the computer company Compaq bought Zip2 for around $307 million, and Musk walked away with about $22 million. Most people would relax after that. Musk immediately poured almost everything into his next idea, an online bank and payment company called X.com. Yes, he's been obsessed with the letter X for a very long time. X.com merged with a rival company, and that combined business became something you've definitely heard of, PayPal. Now, an important reality check that fans sometimes skip. Musk was actually pushed out as CEO of PayPal by the board while he was on a flight to his honeymoon. They thought he was too inexperienced. But he remained the largest shareholder. So when eBay bought PayPal in 2002 for $1.5 billion, Musk pocketed around $175 million. He was, at 31, seriously rich. And here's the pivotal moment. Instead of retiring to a beach, Musk bet nearly his entire fortune on two industries that famously destroy fortunes: rockets and cars. In 2002, he founded SpaceX with the almost comically ambitious goal of making rockets cheap enough that humanity could eventually colonize Mars. Everyone thought he was insane. Rockets are astronomically expensive, and building a private space company from scratch had bankrupted plenty of people before him. Then, in 2004, he invested heavily in a tiny electric car startup called Tesla, and soon became its chairman and public face. Important note here, because he gets this wrong sometimes too. Musk did not originally found Tesla. It was started by two other men, Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. Musk came in as the big investor and later took it over, eventually becoming CEO in 2008. A legal settlement lets him call himself a co-founder. And 2008 is where it almost all fell apart. This is the part people forget. SpaceX had failed to launch 3 rockets in a row, each failure burning millions. Tesla was hemorrhaging money in the middle of a global financial crisis. Musk was running out of cash, reportedly borrowing money for rent, and both companies were days from death. Then it turned. SpaceX's fourth rocket launch, the make-or-break one, succeeded. Shortly after, NASA awarded SpaceX a contract worth $1.5 billion to fly cargo to the International Space Station. That money saved the company. And Tesla scraped through too. Musk had bet everything, twice, and both bets survived. From there, the trajectory bent sharply upward. SpaceX did what critics said was impossible. It built rockets that could land themselves and be reused, slashing the cost of getting to space and making SpaceX the most dominant private space company on Earth. Tesla went from a punchline to the most valuable car company in the world, dragging the entire auto industry toward electric vehicles. And Musk kept adding companies like other people collect hobbies. Neuralink, working on brain-computer implants. The Boring Company, digging tunnels to fight traffic. XAI, his artificial intelligence company. And in 2022, he bought the social media platform Twitter for $44 billion and renamed it, of course, X. All of this made him, by 2021, the richest person on the planet, a title he's mostly held ever since. But the road to trillionaire ran straight through politics. In the 2024 U.S. election, Musk went all in supporting Donald Trump, donating more than $290 million, the most of any single donor. After Trump won, Musk took a role leading a cost-cutting effort called the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, before stepping away from it in 2025. This turn into politics made him even more polarizing. It sparked protests at Tesla dealerships and made a lot of former fans angry, while energizing a new base of supporters. So how did he actually cross the $1 trillion line? A few things stacked up. His rocket company, SpaceX, kept soaring in value and headed toward going public. A court battle over an enormous Tesla pay deal swung back in his favor. And Tesla's shareholders approved a pay package that was almost too big to comprehend, potentially worth up to $1 trillion in stock over about a decade if Musk hits wildly ambitious targets, like growing Tesla into an $8.5 trillion company and deploying millions of robots and robo-taxis. Then, in mid-June 2026, when SpaceX moved toward a public listing that sent its value skyrocketing, Musk's net worth officially crossed $1 trillion. He became the first person in human history to get there. For scale, that made him nearly 4 times richer than the second wealthiest person alive. And this is where the story stops being just about one man. The milestone kicked off a huge debate. To his supporters, Musk is a once-in-a-century builder who's pushing humanity toward electric cars, cheaper space travel, and Mars, and he earned every cent by doing things nobody else could. To his critics, one person holding $1 trillion while millions struggle is a sign of something deeply broken. Politicians called for wealth taxes. Even the Pope weighed in, questioning what it says about our values when becoming a trillionaire is treated as the ultimate achievement. Historians compared it to John D. Rockefeller becoming America's first billionaire over a century ago. It's worth sitting with both sides honestly. The same person built genuinely world-changing companies and is accused of enormous recklessness. He inspires fierce loyalty and fierce anger, often for the exact same actions. That contradiction is kind of the whole point of Elon Musk. So that's the story. A bullied kid from South Africa who taught himself to code, dropped out of Stanford in 48 hours, nearly went broke betting on rockets and electric cars, and clawed his way to becoming the first trillionaire the world has ever seen. Love him or hate him, there's never really been anyone quite like him. Whatever you think of the guy, the story is undeniably fascinating, and it's still being written. If you enjoyed this deep dive, do me a quick favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more stories like this one. I'll see you in the next video.